This is somewhere I've been wanting to show you for quite some time. We are in the tower of the cathedral in Salisbury, and this is just a quick post. I'm here with the ordinands who are preparing for ministry. We've been talking about the space behind the public facade, or the public space of ministry, the private space, the interior space, and how that informs and shapes, drives very often what we do in the public life of ministry. And it's such a surprise always to find out that the already huge public space is balanced by this space that nobody ever really sees. And so it is with us. There is a space inside us that we know. It's a landscape, an inner landscape, an inner architecture that others don't see, but which holds it together, holds us together and shapes who we are. We need to know that internal landscape as well. So this is where we have come to see. And above me, I'm going to just point the camera up. Up there is the steeple, and if we were to ascend a little bit further up, you'd see that reaching to its pencil tip at the top. But all around here is graffiti. There's some from people who've worked on the place. There's even a graffito a little further away from somebody who claims to have fallen from the top of the tower, a workman, and survived and clearly came back years later to say, to record the fearful event. It says something like, I fell from this place, I fell from this window in 1832 or whenever it was. Extraordinary. And in a minute, but I might stay on to show you, we'll go through into the ribcage of beams, timbers, from the nearby Clarendon estate, which form the roof, and among them is the mast of a ship used to help shore up the roof. Amazing. That's been there for at least 500 years. And looking at that mast, to consider that the journeys that it had already been on across the seas, in Tudor times, medieval times perhaps even, and then ends up its life not being burned in an instant on a fire, but for centuries and centuries shoring up this immense house of God. What a calling for that tree as it pushed its green head through the earth all of those centuries ago. What a vocation to have a role. Reminds me of the Dream of the Rood, you know, the story of the tree that formed the cross of Christ, and didn't perhaps foresee, like those players who are conscripted accidentally into the passion narrative, who find themselves drafted in, who sort of stray into the scene. And of course, great events are full of accidental characters who just happened to be there. Well, that tree happened to be there. These workmen happened to be here. But the testament that they have left is extraordinary. And it's the interior space that is the clock sounding the quarter hour. In there is the clock house, which the workings of the clock are still whirring, and up here are the wires. Can you see those wires? Wires that lead up to the bells and activate the mechanism. I'll leave it there from the tower, but there might be opportunity in a minute to show you a postscript from the roof itself. So God bless you as you go to ground.